The Honourable Member for Sherwood Park, Fort Saskatchewan.
Mr. Speaker, after 8 years, government services are broken. Liberals have significantly grown the size of the public service while still giving billions of dollars to outside consultants, and yet nothing seems to work. Now, the Prime Minister has admitted that he personally recruited Dominic Barton and provided him with preferential access that his company McKinsey used to do over $100 million in business with government. So how can Liberals explain the fact that the public service is larger, the services Canadians receive are declining, and yet Liberals are still able to find so much money for their well-connected friends?
The Honourable Government House Leader.
Well, Mr. Speaker, the use of contracts by government, and it's done independently at arm's length by the public service, is something that is incredibly important in the provision of services. And I would say to the member opposite that right now there are 2 million more Canadians, almost, who have jobs that didn't when the Conservatives were there. There are 2.7 million Canadians who are not in poverty now who were when the Conservatives were in power. The idea that the progress isn't being made is not substantiated by fact, Mr. Speaker.
That's right. Here. Member for Sherwood Park, Fort Saskatchewan.
Mr. Speaker, hiring more people at McKinsey is not a jobs plan. The House Leader should listen to his Prime Minister, because the Prime Minister said of Dominic Barton, quote, "We recruited him," end quote. Now, Dominic Barton admitted in testimony that Andrew Pickersgill, the head of McKinsey's Canadian operations, supplied analysts to the Prime Minister's Growth Council. McKinsey then used that access to set up sales meetings. The Prime Minister recruited McKinsey leaders, gave them privileged access to government, and that allowed them to get over $100 million in contracts. So will the House Leader stop this charade, admit what the Prime Minister has already admitted, that it was these Liberal politicians that brought in McKinsey?
The Honourable Government House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, on numerous occasions, the member opposite has inferred that political interference would be something that they would engage in to tell the public service who they would engage in contracts. Let me say on this side of the House, we will tolerate no such action, that the independence of the public service and the engaged contracts is absolutely important. The number of the conspiracy theories the member has peddled have been disproven as in front of committee. There are forums on Reddit where he can continue to pursue these, but I would suggest the House of Commons is not the appropriate forum.
The Honourable Member for Dorval, Lachine, LaSalle. Mr. Speaker, over the past 7 months, while we've seen a steady reduction in inflation, many Canadians are still struggling with the cost of living. Can the Minister of Tourism and Associate Minister of Finance tell the House what the government is doing to help Canadians with this global phenomenon? Thank you. The Honourable Minister of Tourism. Mr. Speaker, first I'd like to thank my colleague for Dorval for her question and hard work. People around the world are going through tough economic